Man, este julgamento é surreal, ok? Pá, e eu quero ver esta... Eu ainda não vi este vídeo. Vi só um bocadinho ontem.
The man suing her, Terry Sanderson, as he testifies that the actress and entrepreneur knocked him down on a ski slope and changed his life forever.
Pronto, resumidamente, basicamente este gajo está a processar a Gwyneth Paltrow porque diz que ela foi contra ele numa estância de ski em 2016, ok? E ele está, segundo aquilo que eu sei, ele está a processar a Gwyneth Paltrow por pai $300 mil, ou lá o que é. E ela está a dar-lhe counter-sue, ou seja, ela está a processá-lo de volta por $1. Ok? Pronto, é isto. Esta é basicamente a cena do tribunal. Porque ela diz que não foi ele, aliás, não foi ela que foi contra ele, foi ele que foi contra ela. E estão os dois a alegar que eram o downhill skier, ok? Que é importante nesta situação, porque quem vai em baixo, aliás, quem é o uphill skier, acho que tem que ter atenção aos downhill skiers. Downhill skiers, isto é difícil de dizer. Sim, certo, está bem, ok, pronto, $1 mais as fees do advogado, tudo bem, que não deve ser barato, mas pronto, ela não pede mais do que $1 em danos. Ok, pronto, é isso que é importante. Normalmente as pessoas pedem mais, ela não está a pedir, porque eu acho que é só um valor simbólico por causa do tribunal. Pronto, ela quer basicamente dar counter-sue.
We break down some of the major moments from his testimony.
Pronto, é isso.
Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
Man, mas esta sessão de tribunal,
I have covered a lot of stories.
Esta é ridícula mesmo.
There's one thing I can tell you throughout all of them is that you have to stay safe. And that is where palm pepper spray...
Oh, man, por amor de Deus, man.
Gwyneth Paltrow's civil trial has taken another turn. The plaintiff in this case, Terry Sanderson, the man suing the actress and entrepreneur for a ski crash collision, has taken the stand. This comes after Paltrow herself testified last week and adamantly said that she was not responsible for what happened, and that Sanderson slammed into her from behind. Now, this all stems from an incident in
Não dá, malta, não dá para mais alto. Está no máximo.
Utah, where the two were skiing. They each claim that
Está
they were
mesmo no
a
máximo.
downhill skier, which is important because under ski rules, the downhill skier has the right of way. Uphill skiers have a responsibility to look out for the skiers that are in front of them.
Pronto, era aquilo que eu estava a dizer.
Sanderson claims that Paltrow was distracted, that she wasn't looking in front of her, and that is when she allegedly rammed into him.
O que eu posso fazer é, pera lá, vou
Sanderson
fazer aqui uma
ended up
cena.
filing a lawsuit against Paltrow, claiming that he suffered severe injuries from the
Vou fazer
collision,
isto assim.
such as 4 broken ribs and a concussion. He's suing for an excess of $300,000, while Paltrow filed a countersuit, claiming that Sanderson ran into her. And she didn't countersue for millions of dollars. No, she countersued for just $1. A little
Pronto,
symbolic
e
damage
ouçam,
there.
os advogados são tão incompetentes neste caso que é surreal.
But this is a classic whodunit
Como é que é,
case.
Potter?
This is a classic his word against hers. This is a negligence case.
Sim.
Did either Paltrow or Sanderson fail to act as a reasonable skier would under those circumstances? So his team calls him to the stand. This is what we expected. It's his turn to tell his side of the story. But they first addressed why he hasn't been in the courtroom during most of the proceedings.
Terry, did you want to be here the last 4 days, last week, inside the courtroom?
I love spending time with my daughters and have them hear what they had to say, but in this case, I didn't want to be here because I wanted them to speak totally freely and without the discomfort of being in my presence if they had something to say.
Is that why you weren't here?
Absolutely, yes.
It's interesting he said that because the reporting indicated, and what we were under the impression initially, was that he didn't want to be there because of his medical issues, right? So we believed he wasn't there because it might have been triggering for him to hear a description of these events once again. After all, this is a mental health related case. Mental health is going to be a central focus of this, and as you're going to see. So it was interesting.
Então o gajo alega que está traumatizado e por isso é que ele disse que não ia comparecer, mas agora diz que não compareceu porque as filhas queriam falar e ele não queria estar na presença. Queria que as filhas falassem de forma livre.
Interesting for him to say that he didn't want his to be there to cloud his daughter's
Não,
testimony.
mano, são
He wanted
piores.
them to speak freely.
Ouçam, a advogada
And
deste gajo é
arguably,
pior que a
maybe they did,
da
because
Amber.
the main point of their
É muito
testimony
pior.
was, ever since the crash with Gwyneth Paltrow, Terry Sanderson, their father, has not been the same man. he has changed dramatically.
Okay.
So let's actually get into the crash itself. You remember Paltrow's version of events, that someone came at her from behind as she was skiing? Well,
Sim.
here is what Sanderson said happened.
Mano, repara, este
I just
momento aí-
remember everything was great, and then I heard something I've never heard at a ski resort, and that was a blood-curdling scream. Just, I can't do it. It was, "Ah," and then, boom. And it was like somebody was out of control and gonna hit a tree and was gonna die. And that's what I had until I was hit.
That's what was going on in your mind.
Overruled. I got hit in my back so hard, and I'm right at my shoulder blades.
Pois, mas como é que eles não conseguiram ver isto logo na altura? É isso que me faz, tipo, confusão. Como é que os médicos que assistiram a estas duas pessoas no momento não conseguem comprovar que um deles tinha injuries nas costas e o outro à frente? É que é super fácil de prever, não? Ou eles caíram tipo de costas ou uma merda. É bué estranho, bro.
And it
Well,
felt
it's
like,
like-
and was perfectly
They're not having
centered.
a Jordan
And the
Peterson.
fists and the poles were right there at the bottom of my
yeah.
shoulder blades.
Ai, é bem.
Serious smack. Never been hit that hard, and I'm flying. I'm absolutely flying.
Now, you're not airborne.
Well, all I saw was a whole lot of snow, and I didn't see the sky, but I was flying in that sense. I had no control. Everything's black.
Did the person who struck you land on top of you?
I wouldn't know that. I absolutely would not know that. I was just surprised. I had no upper body strength enough to be able to catch myself. I had no idea.
Do you remember hitting your head on the
Meu,
ground?
foda-se. E ninguém viu isto
that
acontecer.
part, no, that's all gone.
So he says he is slammed from behind, alluding to Paltrow being out of control,
Bro.
and hitting him and screaming wildly. And he gets into this very vivid detail of what happened. But remember, he also suggests he was knocked out cold. Now,
Okay.
could this very well have happened the way that he says? Sure.
Pois.
And sometimes people remember trauma very clearly.
Certo.
But obviously, there are going to be issues of how he remembers this if he was knocked unconscious
Pois,
and he
claro.
has brain injuries. Is he remembering this as accurately as he thinks? That's going to be a central question for the jury.
Verdade.
Because he, like Gwyneth Paltrow, is adamant about what happened.
Ok.
Terry, did you cause the ski collision with Miss Paltrow?
Absolutely not. I swear to my God and my family and my other Father in heaven, it's like, no, I did not.
Okay, so after Sanderson claims that Paltrow knocked into him, he then argues a man named
Pois não
Eric
sei.
Christensen, the ski instructor that was part of Paltrow's group. He was actually working with Paltrow's son Moses that day on the slopes.
Ok.
He says he comes over, and not only does this man not help him, but Sanderson claims that Christensen was yelling at him.
Did you know who he was?
I had no idea. No idea. It was just a
Make
very
it-
angry person trying to bully me into believing something that I didn't think could happen, was I heard a woman's voice, right? Again, couldn't move. And about the third time he went through that, and it's getting louder, and I started to understand what he was saying, and he was really insistent that I was doing something wrong and hit somebody. And I remember in desperation, because I couldn't move anything, I couldn't fight. I couldn't fight. Who's going to try? And I tried moving something, and I could move my skis a little bit. I could just feel just below my knee. I could just slide my skis a little bit. And that's an important point. My skis are still on. They're still on. And I'm thinking, I got to placate this guy. He's really mad. If he decided he wanted to jump on me right now, he could finish me off. I remember saying,
Oh, meu, what the fuck?
I'm sorry.
Okay, now you're with
Oh, mano, o gajo. Pois, isto é tão ridículo. Esta merda é tão estúpida, bro. Ai, minha Nossa
Twice.
You're
Senhora.
whispering
I
that,
know I
but-
am,
but
because
maybe-
that's what I heard. Nothing was coming out. My lips were moving, my tongue was moving. There was nothing coming out of my mouth, and my heart rate went up again. Okay?
It looked like what you were mouthing was, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. And I was just going, I can't believe it. I thought, try again. I'm sorry. Nothing was coming out. And to me, I heard nothing.
When you kind of mumbled, whispered, whatever you want to call it, I'm sorry, was that you apologizing for causing the accident?
No, absolutely not. I was trying to placate this man in the only defensive manner that I could.
Christensen would categorically deny doing this when he took the stand later on in the day.
Okay.
He said he didn't yell at anybody. That's interesting because originally Sanderson sued Deer Valley and Christensen partly for emotional distress. The idea was, hey, I just got violently hit and no one, neither Paltrow nor Christensen nor anybody else gave me help. So I'm in there on the snow, injured. This is a very distressing situation. He even alleged that Christensen tried to cover up for Paltrow by filing a false report of what happened. Very serious allegations there. The judge ultimately threw that claim out. It was determined this was not a hit and run type case, but just purely a negligence case.
Ok.
Well, from here, Sanderson testified
também é bocado
how
shady.
he was informed that the person he collided with was, in fact, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Ok.
He claims he wasn't into celebrity worship, but he did end up having to address a very controversial email that he sent to his daughters hours after the crash that read, "I'm famous."
Pera. So the words I'm famous the collision with the celebrity was that you're thinking at the time? Yes, I guess, yes.
Now, the idea here is, what a weird thing to write. Are you only going after Gwyneth Paltrow because she's a celebrity? Are you
Pois,
only
exato.
going after her for the money grab? Were you really hurt? Did you cause the crash?
Pois, exato.
Well, here's Sanderson explaining this email.
And the subject said, I'm famous.
Oh, mano,
Do you see
foda-se.
that?
I do.
Why did you write, I'm famous?
Pois, exato. Ganda burro.
You know,
Como é que é, Marcelo?
again, my head was scrambled. I was
Oh, mano, tá bem, pronto. Ok. Yeah. A cabeça dele estava baralhada, o senhor. E escreveu I'm famous.
trying to do is desperately communicate with my kids before they heard from somebody else.
Oh, mano, por amor de Deus.
I didn't pick my words well, not at all how I felt, and I really was trying to add a little levity to a serious situation, and it backfired. Little did I know that this is where it'd be.
Yeah, aparentemente,
Well,
Rafa.
that's certainly an explanation. We're going to have to see if the jury believes that.
Pois, também não acredito.
But now I do want to get into when Sanderson talks about what he suffered as a result of the crash. And this is important, particularly for the purposes of damages, right? What harm did the plaintiff suffer?
Isto por
And he
acaso explica
talks
muito
about
bem isto.
that he's not the same person.
Ok, não
And
é?
that he even
Já
had
chorou
to
e tudo.
break up with his girlfriend
Ai, meu
as a
Deus.
result of what happened.
Claro. Claro que teve que acabar com a namorada por causa da Gwyneth Paltrow.
Can't ski anymore. I was told that if I did and had another crash, that I could wind up full time in a nursing home. I'm a much more careful person. I don't take any risks and more brain damage, and I'm not sure I understand your question exactly.
Have you had any kinds of balance issues or headaches?
Of course, initially, that was just my life was living in an orange chair, sitting there initially, and sleep for 12 hours, and then sit for half an hour and tell Carlene I gotta go back to bed.
But to be fair, it's not like that anymore.
No, it's not. Upside down and backwards, communication just feels like I can't connect, and so I keep trying, desperately trying, and personality changes is not something I just know it's different. Things are weird.
You ever get lost?
Oh my God.
Sei lá,
That was
Guga,
among the
aparentemente,
first
mas
signs
acho que
when I
não.
tried to get out.
Pois, mas não sei.
talk about-
Eu estou bem confuso. Tipo, isto para mim tinha sido logo descartado se houvesse relatórios médicos sobre aquilo que aconteceu. Mas aparentemente não, nada. O homem viveu só assim.
Carlene, we heard her testify last week. She's a catch. Why'd you let her go?
In my choice, I would have, but
Aí é bem, que fosse-me rebentar tudo. Já foderam o homem todo.
After 8 months, I had to tell her to leave. I said, I'm not asking her, I'm telling her you gotta leave. And
Why'd you tell her to leave?
I knew she didn't buy into this. She didn't buy into me not being the same person and coming into a relationship. And I said, I'm not sure I'm going to get back to normal again. And I don't want you to feel like that I'm a crippled vet and you're going to stick it out with me, because I know you would. Half a brain or whatever. I know you would, but don't do it. You need your life. You run right now.
And look, that's important, because what has the jury heard so far? They've heard medical experts who testified about the severity of his injuries. And in fact, at least one expert said these injuries could have only been caused by Sanderson being hit by somebody.
Okay.
Not him just colliding with Paltrow, but him being hit.
Ok, então basicamente há médicos que corroboram a cena, pelo menos, que diz que estas injuries dele só podiam ter sido causadas se ele tivesse ido contra a gaja, ok? Pronto. Agora, o que é que os outros disseram?
So Terry Sanderson takes the stand, and he really makes the case that he was the victim, that Gwyneth Paltrow slammed into him, and that his life has been forever changed for the worse.
Bem, o facto é que ela,
because
não sei o que é que lhe
because of what
aconteceu
she
a
did
ela,
to
mas
him.
ela
And
está na
that's why he
maior, pelos
filed
vistos.
this lawsuit.
Até fez uma empresa que vende velas que cheiram a vagina. Ela também não parece a pessoa mais sã de sempre.
My daddy would say, if you got the truth, you bring the truth. Don't let anybody back you down. And that's what I felt. I needed.
Juro, não estou a gozar, é mesmo.
I'm here to prove that truth. Only with facts.
Well, now it was time for Paltrow's attorney, Stephen Owens, to question Sanderson. And he tried to show that what Sanderson was saying on the stand doesn't quite match up to prior statements he made, particularly in depositions.
Okay.
And that includes his statements about the I'm famous email and about whether Sanderson thought it was cool that he got into a crash with a celebrity.
Okay.
I wrote I'm famous because it's cool that I had a collision with a celebrity. Was that your thinking at the time?
Mano, este advogado é bada estranho.
Deny it?
Not if you have it on record, no. I don't deny it. I don't remember it. But
Well, let's go to page 15. Can you bring that up? Move to publish the deposition.
Your Honor, he said he doesn't deny it, so why are we publishing?
Because he earlier denied it.
Eu não sei porque é que ele está sempre a limpar o nariz, bro.
I'll overrule the objection and permit that portion of the deposition.
É bada estranho, este também está sempre a limpar o nariz.
Sure. Like 1 hour ago, 2 hours ago, you told this jury, I've never thought it was cool that I had a collision with a celebrity. Do you recall that?
Yes, I guess I did say that.
Está constipado.
And that's not a true statement, is it? You have said this in your deposition, true?
Honestly, I don't ever remember saying it.
Bring it up whenever you
But
can.
I don't doubt you. I misspeak a lot.
I misspeak a lot.
This is page 15, line 5
Lixoso.
through 8. So the words I'm famous, this is my question, seem to say I think it's cool that I had a collision with a celebrity. Was that your thinking at the time? And your answer was yes. I guess, yes.
And Sanderson even says that it wasn't really even him who made that comment.
Do you recall saying that you agreed that saying I'm famous was a crazy thing to say? Agree?
Yeah, sim, aquilo.
It's not me. I don't buy into that.
But it was you, right? Just to be clear. When you say it wasn't me, it was in fact you.
It's the other personality that's inhabiting my body right now.
Oh, mano, por amor de Deus, puto. Epá, que estúpido. Mano, ouçam, isto é um julgamento tão surreal. Puto, olha a javardice que este gajo acabou de dizer. Foi você que disse isto, não foi? Não, foi a outra personalidade que está a habitar o meu corpo neste momento. Foi o Alberto Queiro.
And you blame Gwyneth Paltrow for that?
Yes. No question.
Oh, mano, que javardice.
Can't say I've heard that one that
Exato.
much. But look, was Sanderson telling the truth about his motivations? Was he telling the truth about writing that email? He says he's not into celebrity
Ouçam,
worship.
uma
He says he was
javardice
just
só,
trying to
Alexandre.
create maybe a light moment in that email and it was taken the wrong way. Let's talk about the misspeaking. Maybe not the best thing to say to a jury, but Owens presses Sanderson on more inconsistent statements.
When we talked about you being unconscious, and do you agree that someone who's unconscious doesn't have a stopwatch to figure out how long they were actually unconscious?
I agree, that's true.
Everything you've learned was from Craig after the collision.
No.
Yeah, that's over vague, and that's I'll withdraw it because I agree that's
Not
overbroad.
everything. It's not everything. Sorry.
Right. As far as level of length of unconsciousness, do you agree that you weren't stopwatching yourself?
I have no idea.
Yeah, and yet you did tell people it varied over time. First a few seconds, then 5 minutes, then 10 minutes. You did that, right? Do you disagree?
Yes, it did vary.
And why did you do that? Why would you say, I don't know, then it's a few seconds, then it's 5 minutes, and then you told your psychiatrist at the VA it was up to 10 minutes long?
Yeah,
Why
right.
did you change?
I had no idea, and I was searching. I really had no idea, and I was trying to answer. I sometimes make that mistake of guessing, but I really didn't know.
And it was to try to get the attention of the doctor. Do you remember telling me that?
I don't.
Ai, é
And
com
Owens
caraças.
really hit Sanderson on his ability to recall what happened.
You do not have a perfect memory of what you told others after in the 1, 2 minutes, 3 minutes after the collision. Or do you have a perfect memory?
Well, that word is so ultimate, perfect.
Right.
No, an answer would be no, it's not perfect.
Okay. So it's possible you said, for instance, Eric Christensen is going to testify, first witness this afternoon, that you told him, I'm okay. Do you dispute it?
I disputed. I
Okay.
never felt safe and like anybody was there to help me.
And then
I would not have said it.
He's about to testify that not only he was there, but a ski patroller duo came over. One of them came over and said, do you guys need any help, or words to that effect? And that you consulted with Ramon and then said, no. Do you dispute it?
Ui.
I absolutely would have said no. I never said safe.
So I don't want to say what I would have said. I want to know if you remember. Do you remember that?
No,
you-
I
Okay.
don't remember.
In fact, you don't even remember that ski patrollers came by. True?
No, I do not remember.
Ai,
that.
é com caralho. Lixou mesmo o gajo, meu.
So this won't be an easy case for the
Pois,
jury.
de maneira
Who to
nenhuma.
believe? Paltrow, Sanderson? I mean, they have two completely different versions of what happened, and it seems to me
Estamos a
that
ver
the
o
jury
julgamento
will
da
have to
Gwyneth
believe
Paltrow.
either
Vai ser o
one
tema do
or
vídeo
the
hoje.
other. You can't believe both stories.
Ai, é meu, que javardice.
Either one of them crashed into the other, either
Pois é.
one of them was uphill, one of them was downhill. And this case is very much going to come down to the credibility of Miss Paltrow and Mr. Sanderson.
Mano, imaginem. Olhem uma cena, tipo, reparem nos comentários deste vídeo. I came into this with no bias. I am indifferent to Gwyneth Paltrow, but after watching, I feel like this man is full of it. There's another personality inhabiting my body right now, and I blame Gwyneth Paltrow for that. Should be made into a t-shirt. This case is so frivolous. Judge Judy could have had this wrapped up in 30 minutes. This man is a prime example of why our country is going is going the direction it's going. What a joke our American society has become. If GP was at fault, she would have settled it out of court. He's a narcissist and wants to be a victim. Then I heard the scream. She was going down her side of the slope when he was zigzagging across the whole slope, risking hitting her. He thought she would have just settled and be done with it. Aí é bem. You can better lawyers are charging her in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Pois é isso, eu acho que ela está-se a cagar para esta merda, honestamente. Acho que é mesmo isso. Eu acho que é genuinamente. Acho que é genuinamente esse caso que é. Ela não quer saber disto, tipo, quer se livrar desta merda, quer fazer o trabalho dela. E este gajo não a deixa em paz, então ela, tipo, basicamente. Só quer as despesas dos advogados e pouco mais e quer se livrar desta merda. Pá, isto é ridículo, isto literalmente. Eu acho que o gajo, pá, daquilo que eu ouvi do testemunho do gajo, não consigo acreditar, meu. Muito mal. Muito mal mesmo.